ones that look like us and the ones that don't look like us. Right? That look like him. Hip hop, Eminem is an octoroon. He ain't really Caucasoid. He Caucasoid-ish.
Can you break that down for us?
His parents, they mixed.
See, I never knew that.
You can look at them and tell, but you have to know what they look like when they came here to know if they mixed. I always tell people when they so-called open the plantations up, all them people that was passing that came to the north, where they go? Who they married? Right. They got testimonials of people who lived through discovery that they was mixed, but most of your Hollywood greats was mixed.
Yeah.
Right. Your Fred Astaire's, your what's my man name? The Duke, Jared Wayne, Elvis Presley. Right. They was all mulattoes. The whole thing with Hollywood back then to get an Oscar, you got to remember, Oscar was look like us.
Yeah, you know, that reminds you, when you say what you saying that, and I don't mean to interrupt, but that triggers something about samurais. I don't know how many people know you had to be African or have African blood in your system in order to be considered to be a samurai. Is that not correct?
Yeah, because the neuromelanin is what gives you the intuitive intelligence to tap into like ESP and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Because they also was they had a katana, it's a spirit sword. So it was
I got one too.
The vibration of the carbon because it contains a positive electrical frequency. So just your genetics alone enhances the intelligence of the sword. It can activate it. They even showed that they show you in the video game Assassin's Creed. They got a new one. They show you the Black Samurai. It just came out maybe a couple months ago.
You know where I learned how to refine my sword development in charging energy? Bleach.
Yep. Because bleach
when they tell you the properties of each one of the Zanpakuto, and they got his Bankai form and the Shikai form, they telling you how to use the energy, but they not telling you how to use the energy. They showing you examples of the energy being used. And it's only certain people that have holographic vision that could see the correlation where you can utilize the stuff that they showing you in the anime. Another one was a Full Metal Alchemist. Right? They was telling you the rules of alchemy in there. And showing you what happened when you try to override nature to do what you want, because the laws of nature even applies in the laws of physics. There's only so much you allowed to do before what you allowed to do be turned against you. Because you're not allowed to do stuff continuously to people that you wouldn't want people to do to you. Because if you keep doing it, sooner or later, they're going to send somebody to do exactly what you did to the people, to you. Bully you around, smack you upside your head, whoop you up and down the block, pistol whoop you, whatever it take in order for you to get the message.
And I promise to God, I just was having this conversation over the last 2 days. That is, to me, is no different than you getting a visit from Lady K, Miss Karma, because, boy, she going to come and see you. It's just a matter of when she come and see you. But when you put that ish out there, the pendulum has to swing back. That's the laws of nature. That's the laws of the universe. As above, so below, as within, so without.
The law of physics say for every action is equal and opposite reaction, unless due to elasticity, in which case the reaction may be delayed. That means you could stretch it out, but it's still coming back.
Boy, the further you stretch it, boy, the harder and faster it's coming back. And we seeing that. That's the laws of Ma'at. The laws of Ma'at says you're going to get back what you give. And sometimes if you're doing it unrighteously, 7 times fold.
Why did the elders leave us the laws of mind written? Why did they leave it for us to study?
We had to pick up and follow
guidelines, the guidelines for humanity to be
Look,
civilized.
they're not trying to control you,
Right.
right? But there's paths in life that they've walked so many lifetimes that they're able to give you principles and to give you vision to understand how to navigate the world, because we don't be born with no instructional manual, right? Because we don't have an instructional manual, you only allowed to do bad until you know better. And when you know better, you obligated to do better. And if you know better and you don't do better, you're going to get treated worse. That's how it works. And a lot of people think that, oh, why them people rich and these people poor? The corporate constructs of the country. We just wasn't allowed to play the game. It wasn't that we didn't know how. We was blocked out of all of the institutions. We needed to pass the brown paper bag test, but we was too red.
Yep.
We wasn't yellow enough. And that's how they used the pale faces to block the institutions, but the people that was running the institutions was darker than us. And so this is what gave us the illusion that white supremacy had to do with skin color when it got everything to do with class.
Yes, sir.
Right? The better you play the game, you have a side effect called wealth.
Yep.
The money pile up when you play the game. It's just like Monopoly. The better you is at the game, the better you is at collecting. You can break the bank in Monopoly. And now everybody got to come to you. Right? If you know the rules of the game, you can break the real life bank by telling the truth.
Yep.
Because the truth is more powerful than the sword. Sword can cut you down, but the truth will raise you up.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? The sword can cut you free, but the truth will make you eternally free.
Yes, sir.
Right? So they become synonymous by symbolism. So then when you would charge your sword, and out of his mouth came a two-edged sword.
Yeah, that's deep. It's funny because it reminded me of somebody left a comment on the channel the other day, and they were saying how one of the shows kind of enlightened them to like wake them up to the truth or like change their reality or perspective of the truth. And it was funny because my comment response was, the truth is just like the sun. It's going to rise, you know what I'm saying, no matter what. You can try to put clouds and chemtrails or whatever the hell you want to try to block it, but you can't stop the sun from shining. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the truth is. The truth going to rise no matter how far you try to bury it. No matter how much you try to layer on top of it, it's going to rise and elevate just like the sun. There's nothing nobody can do to stop it. And that's what we're seeing right now happening in real time.
Look, and all that stuff they're putting up there, the sun will move it out the way so it can penetrate the earth.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yes.
The potency of the UV ray will move it out the way. It'll look like it's piercing holes in the atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
And the sun gonna shine through. Right, so they was terraforming the earth for another species because they didn't think we was gonna win the war. Once we won the war, now they got to use clean trails to get that stuff out the sky, and that's why you got rocks and cement falling out the sky. Those are binders.
Yep.
Binding to the chemicals they put on there to get it out the air.
That's crazy. We just had some of that like literally last Monday, if I'm not mistaken, right here in the Bay Area of Florida. We just had that Monday, if I'm not mistaken, last Monday.
Yeah, that's from the clean trails cleaning up the chemtrails.
It's kind of like the same. It's the same concept of when a person's about to get evicted. That's what all Mother Nature is doing. It's just moving the rest of the shit out the way that was facilitated by the colonizers by way of colonialism. So the snakes really just throwing that shit out out on the street. That's what's happening right now. So everything they doing right now, as far as their their incantations, is not going to work. So that, like, you know, it's not one of those things where, you know, Donald Trump, he's not, you know, creating different dynamics to restore the matriarch. He's not doing it because he wants to. He's doing it because he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Yes,
you don't
sir.
have a choice.
Now,
He's
what
just the face, though. He ain't the one. He ain't the real power behind the machine.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you that. What, like, who is it that's like calling the shots? Because I know it's not him, and I do feel like there's like an extraterrestrial influence or some sort of, you know, outside entity that is calling the shots or pulling the strings like Geppetto. So would you happen to know who?
You want to pull up a receipt?
Yes, sir.
Go to images and type in FEMA continuity of government.
Okay, let me see if I can find it real quick. You said FEMA
continuity of government.
Okay, I found it.
Can you share the screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second because this platform is a little tricky, but let me see if I could, because I went to Safari to see if I can get it, but let me see if I can get it in here too so I can pull it up. Okay, now I got a couple of different ones. I see the guide to
that's why I asked.
Is that the one you want? The guide to continuity of government?
Do it got a line under that said by who's the continuity of government under? Who's doing it?
It says what I see is continuity of government is intended to serve essential functions of the statutory. Let me see. Let me click on it and see what it says.
It's the cover for the pamphlet. You ain't got to read the inside. You just got to read the cover.
Okay, yeah. Let me go back then because that's not showing me that. But let me try again. You said it's going to be the cover of the Panthers
pamphlet.
Oh, pamphlet. Okay, yeah. I think I do see that. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I share it real quick.
I think you got a government building on the cover.
Yep, I just found it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see.
See, when you show somebody something, it got a whole different force to it than when you just tell them.
I got it. I'm about to bring it to the screen. 1 second. Yep, I got it locked and loaded. I'm gonna bring it in. So let me pull it up. Boom, got him. All right. As soon as I upload, I'll share it. But yeah, I found it. I got it. I got it right here. It's just waiting for it to upload.
We at the end of government. Yeah. You see that white line that's with the smaller print where it say guide to continuity of government? Read that.
For state, local, tribal, and territorial governments.
Territorial mean the ones with the jurisdiction over the land. Tribal is the people with the different family lines that predominate the land pre-colonialism. Right. And you see where it says state and local, because the tribal way is to take over local government first. Once all of the local governments understand what's being done, then you bring down the corporate government legal fiction, restoring the tribes back to power. The generals, the white hat generals, was retired military generals who discovered the fraud being ran on the people of the country and how we was all being enslaved and forced to fight in wars that had nothing to do with us. With the people from over here, we wasn't over there. It was people using our name. Right? They were CB4 rappers. Stole Gusto name. They were studio gangsters the whole time, pretending to be us, so they can bully the rest of the world that don't want no smoke with us. We have a legendary and historical record of fending off all attacks. This one was just done with sorcery, conjure magic, blood rituals, and blood rites. Right? So now that we've undone all of their rituals, right? By exposing them to the public, it breaks the spell, which allows this continuity of government process to be carried out by the tribes using the oral tradition to reclaim the territorial jurisdiction, which gives them the right to overthrow the legal fiction. Now, this team is in a place called Raven Rock in Colorado, in a military bunker, because the higher chiefs on the land that y'all probably haven't never seen, right? But they the ones been struggling with the government to get us back into control, right? And now, because we didn't never do treaties with them, we was classified as outlaw tribes. So we had to use alternative means of communication in order for all of the tribes to know that we coming back for everything they owe. And it just so happened they owe us everything.
Yes, sir.
We don't want reparations, we want restoration. Put my blood right back where it belongs. Give me my family trust. Because all my family members is under my family trust. You just didn't know I knew.
Yeah, this
so
is all.
I did.
Oh, go ahead.
This is what we've been doing this whole time. Walking through this manual. Continuity of government for the Biden term, both Trump terms. Obama destroyed the United States. Soon as a foreigner took office, it had canceled the contract of the United States. Barack Obama is a foreign-born individual, was never supposed to take office. You can look that up. No foreign-born person was supposed to take the office of the presidency because it's classified as a hostile takeover by a foreign nation. Right? That's why Arnold Schwarzenegger never ran for president.
That's deep. Now, who would you consider to be Obama's handlers? Like, how was he able to?
George Herbert Walker Bush was his handler from a child.
As a CIA, he was part of a CIA operation, correct?
He appointed his direct overseer to be Lolo Sotoro. His mother was a surrogate carrying a clone child.
Oh, you about to go there? Go ahead.
I got something with that too, and you
go
know,
ahead, because we spoke about this off air. Y'all both go ahead and get it.
Yeah, that's the Boys of Brazil program, but they told us they was cloning Hitler. They wasn't cloning Hitler; they was cloning Akhenaten. And that's why Obama looked like Akhenaten. He is cloned.
And you remember the guy from 5 Heartbeats, the light-skinned guy, Dresser?
Yep.
That's where he got his mannerisms from. He was coached by him. So like
in Chicago. He trained him in Chicago.
Facts. The light-skinned guy, watch the movie 5 Heartbeats, and you will see the exact same mannerisms as the light-skinned guy named Dresser.
Better yet, when you figure out his real name, you can look him up on YouTube telling the story of how he taught central casting, baby. Central casting.
Yep.
Central casting, baby.
It's getting hot in these Ashe streets, boy.
Right. You know, Big Chief was right. It's all a stage show. It's
Get him, be there.
Hollywood. You know,
look,
it's but a Hollywood.
You remember John Hinckley Jr. shot Reagan, right? You know that's George Herbert Walker Bush, your legitimate son.
Did not.
I didn't know that.
Look, if you put his picture next to Jeb Bush's picture, you'll swear up and down they twins. They look the same but different. I already did all that stuff on my Facebook page.
It's getting hot. Hot out this thing, boy. Getting real hot. Yes, sir. Yeah. What promised the people the war report, boy? You getting the report, boy. You're getting that thing loud and clear.
And all of the blood shield of families are the families that's concealing the black nobility.
Yeah.
all of the Blood Shield families covering for the real 13 bloodlines of the tribes of so-called Israel,
Mm.
the Black Jew,
Mm.
right? And all of the organizations like the JDL is actually a paramilitary training group,
Mm.
right? Under the pretense of a civil rights action group.
Mm.
The ADL,
Mm.
if they can't compel you by anti-Semitism, right, to shut the F up,
Mm.
they send the Jewish Defense League to shut you up,
Mm.
right? They are a branch of Mossad. The Mossad is the branch of CIA, KGB, MI5. They all were in on creating Mossad,
Mm.
right? They create these as intelligence networks. This is to pass information clandestine, and they use public means. Like when you watch spy movies, especially in the 70s, you used to see the spy grab the newspaper
Mm-hmm.
and he would extract the code from the newspaper.
Mm.
And regular people would just read the story and never know it was a code in it.
Mm.
Mm.
That's how they do, because they trade in secrets on a network that requires you to know certain code cracking techniques.
Yeah.
That's a
If
fact.
you if
It
you know
remind
the page, you'll know who they talking to.
Wow. And you know what that reminds me of? Like Morse. To me, it reminds me of like a combination between Morse codes and like the Medu Neter or any type of sacred, you know what I'm saying, encrypted system of communication. If
It
you
is.
don't know
That's
it, you
exactly what
can't.
it is.
Yeah. Just like the Odu of E5 or Medu Neter of Kemet, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these are secret binary, or Odu is binary, but all of them are secret encrypted codes. And if you don't have the access code to get into, you know what I'm saying, manipulating that modality of communication, you ain't gonna be able to read nothing. But if you have it, you can read it all.
The same thing actually translates even with the sports as a codex.
Yeah,
Everything
you don't
in
talk
the
about that.
simulation, everything within the Metatronic overlay is a codex. Just like when you look at OKC versus the Pacers. What is the Pacers? The horse. 2026 is also the year of the horse, and that's also the same year that they say that the Golden Gate Bridge is going to collapse, because they just came out with a news article that was talking about it on YouTube. How they're looking at many different afflictions, talking about the Golden Gate Bridge is going to collapse during that time period, because the Golden Gate represents the galactic center, and it represents the 9/11 ritualistic events, the tire moments of everything that's going to be facilitated by Donald Trump, because he's an agent provocateur, chaos agent. So
He's
everything,
the liquidator in chief.
facts. Yep. So the signs and symbols is not only subjected to, as far as like the political apparatus, but you can see it in what's going to be taking place. You can see it in the movies. You can see it in sports. Everything is symbolism, and the symbolism for what is to come, as far as their sustainable development goes and going into the future.
Yeah, that's deep. Hey, let me ask y'all this, because I see and it's been multiple comments too.